Hello and welcome to Drafting Motherhood. I'm your host, Michaela Burnham, and today I have a question for you. Think back to the last job you had, or maybe it's your current job. And no matter how good you were at it, no matter how much the company said that they treated everyone like family, was there ever a point that you still felt replaceable? Or have you ever thought, oh my God, I've got to figure out a way to make money at home? If you've ever thought either of those things, babe, this episode is for you. Today's guest, Anna Runyan, had both of those same thoughts. Anna is the founder of Classy Career Girl, which is a business that helps other women build businesses of their own. She's been featured in Forbes and the Wall Street Journal, but before any of that, back in 2012 when they were still wearing blazers to the club, she was thinking, I don't want to be in this job forever. Something has got to change. And so for today's episode, you're going to be watching or listening to clips of our interview. And then in between, I'm going to be giving you my reflections as well. So from this point on, I want you to imagine that you are Anna. Okay, we're sitting in her corporate office. She sees her boss, a woman who's been there for over 20 years. She's just come back from maternity leave with twins. And she's packing all of her stuff up because she's just been fired. We realize in this moment, because, we're Anna right now, we realize that we need a plan. And so already some of you might be thinking, how would you approach that? You're watching your boss, who just got back from maternity leave, get fired, and you're wondering, am I next? While you're listening to this episode or watching this episode, feel free to integrate your own ideas and your thoughts of how you would approach a situation like this. But today, Anna's going to tell you exactly what that plan was and how she transitioned from a job managing a $75 million budget for the military to a self-employed blogger. In your previous job, you're managing a $75 million budget for the military, and they prided themselves on having this exceptional work-life balance. And unfortunately, you found that that was not the case, which is super common with moms all over America, unfortunately. So tell us about your experience transitioning from that corporate job into the roles that you have now.
Yeah, so that's an interesting story because when I applied for jobs out of college, for some reason I knew I always wanted to be a mom. I wanted to be a happy working mom someday. That was like a goal I had even out of college, which is funny to look back on because we didn't have kids until a long time after. But I looked in the Working Mother magazine. I don't actually think that it's still around, but that was like my list. I would go down those companies and I was like, these are the companies I want to work for. I would apply to those companies because I thought this magical Working Mother magazine would have the magical companies to make my life as a working mom someday just pleasant and not stressful, and I would still be happy and have time with my kids, all the
Right.
things, balance that I thought that I could have someday. So I applied to a job at Booz Allen Hamilton. It's a consulting company for the military, highly rated for working mothers, and worked for them for 8 years. And it was, in the beginning, I really loved my job. And then just kind of that middle time, I started to like, okay, we're going to start a family here soon. How is that going to work? And then about halfway through, so about year four, is when I really started to look around and see, can I really do this as a mom? Like I thought I could, but like things started to change and I started to be like, I don't know if this is the place that I want to be when I do become a mom someday. And we were trying to have kids. We struggled with infertility. We struggled with miscarriage. And so for me, it was like a lot of time. Luckily, I guess at that time, I had time to kind of look around and be like, this isn't where I want to be. I need to do something different. I need to like look around and see what other options are out there. And so that's where this creative idea of starting a blog, Classy Career Girl, came from. This was back in 2011, 2012. This was a long time
Wow, yeah.
ago. And I was going to business school at night. So I was working a day job before kids, going to business school at night. And one of our group projects in business school was to do a marketing plan for a baby clothing company. So one of my jobs as our on our team project was to just look at blogs and figure out how we could market our baby clothes on blogs. And that was where I started the like eye-opening light bulb. Like people are making an income from blogging.
Yeah.
Moms are staying home and creating just blog posts and getting paid, and it was like this like light bulb moment, like that's what I need to do. Like I'm going to figure this out. I need to figure this out. I need to be home. I need to still make an income because that was very important
Sure.
to me. I still wanted an income. I still wanted to have like purpose in my career and do something to help and give back and impact people. And so that was the light bulb, the magical light bulb moment of when I would realize like I got to do something different. It's where I started the blog, and it was kind of like my creative outlet. And so I was in this 9 to 5, and it was in finance and very stressful. I was traveling once a month from going from San Diego to Charleston. So I was gone like Monday to Friday and getting calls from clients on the weekends. And like it
Mhm.
was just my way of saying, okay, I have something else I'm working towards. The mom thing wasn't working out at that time.
Sure.
We were having struggles. And so at least I had my blog, and at least I had like a vision of what could be someday, like what I could make for myself, and it would
Yeah.
all like I had a vision board, and had all this plan. And I didn't really know how I was going to make an income, but I just knew other people were doing it.
How often were you doing the blog? Was it a weekly thing? Were you just posting whenever you felt like it?
It was very consistent. So I was ideally 2 posts a week. And it was very clear. Like the more I posted, the more comments I got, the more page views I got. And so that was motivating. Like
Sure.
it was just one time a week. I would get less, but like I just saw like I was helping people were reading it, people were commenting. This was back in the days where there was a ton of blogs and people that was like, we weren't really on Instagram, we weren't on TikTok.
Right.
We were blogging and commenting on other people's blogs, and then they would come to your blog, similar to kind of Instagram is now. Like you comment on someone's, they might come check you out, but that's how blogs were. And so it was like you would get hundreds of comments on a blog post, and it was exciting. And so I
Right.
loved like the more I would post, the more interaction, the more people I would meet. It was like this whole like community online.
That's
So
so
I was
cool.
doing a 2 to 3 posts a week. And when I really got serious, there were some weeks I was doing five, daily blog posts as well. It really was just like this creative outlet where I could just help people and tell people what I wish I would have known. And from there, then I realized, how am I going to make an income off this blog? I'm gaining, these readers are coming back. And so that's when I realized I wanted to be a career coach. And I started to do some informational interviews with career coaches. And there was a informational interview I did with one entrepreneur, and he said, have you ever thought of starting an email list and like providing email, like interview tips by email? And I was like, what's that? Like, what is an email list? And then the next day I started an email list. I went on MailChimp, and I'm like, okay. And I created this like free networking guide,
Yep.
and in exchange for, that first email. And it just started with it started with one blog post, one email, that first email. And then from there, it's like, well, I guess I can do this. Like, why not?
Anna reminds us of the importance of having a creative outlet because these blog posts could have just been something that she continued to do for fun. But when she left that job that she wasn't happy at and she started making some mental room, that creative spark is what lit the whole fire that's been driving her all of these years. And it reminds us that our future doesn't always come when everything is perfectly planned out. And sometimes it's born from doing things that make us feel alive again. I also love that the true passion behind Anna's business was to help other people, specifically women who knew that they needed a change, but they didn't quite know how to get there. And to me, that is true entrepreneurship. It's not just creating a business that solves a problem, but it's helping build ladders for other people to climb too. And if that isn't the literal definition of girl code, I don't know what is. Her 90-day planner, for example, helps you break down your goals while asking the kind of introspective questions that help uncover those sparks. She also shares one of those ladders that she built called the 1K Mom Club, where she teaches moms how to turn the skills they already have into something that can earn an income.
The goal of that is really just to help women make their first $1,000 too, and put together that product that they can sell while life is really busy as a mom too. And so there's a few different products that we recommend starting with that you can sell, that you can do with very limited amount of time, because we all have limited amount of time, 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there as well too. So that's kind of, it came from people just asking me questions. And then I love creating content. I love, like, I'm not a super extrovert at whatsoever, but I do love helping people, and I do love writing, and I do love just being able to, like, even just like writing an Instagram post, like sharing with other people what I've learned. It's not other people's products at all. It is completely your own product, selling your own product. So it
I
could
see.
be,
Okay.
yeah, a different way, different things that I have sold from the very beginning was just like a very simple online course. Walking people through 4 weeks. You can do it live on Zoom, just like we're recording this on Zoom. It could just be like a workshop, something live where you're helping people make change. And that's how I started too, was just kind of like a very simple, I did it in the evenings with my day job, 1 hour a week for 4 weeks, and it was a very simple way just to get started. For me, I could hand off the baby to my husband when he came home from work, and then
Yep.
I could hop on for an hour. And then, an hour later, of course, she would need me again. You can't get more than an hour away.
Nope.
And maybe even 45 minutes. I don't know. It
Right.
could be just 30 minutes, 45 minutes, just so you can hop on a Zoom, teach something, and kind of do a live like workshop. You can record it, and then you can sell it as a digital product afterward as well. So that's like a big one I highly recommend getting started with, as well as like teaching someone something, helping them get that win. The other type of product that you can sell very easily as a mom is some sort of service as well too. So we have a lot of coaches that we work with, like career coaches, obviously, but it doesn't even need to be like a career coach. You could coach someone on anything. You could coach. We homeschool, so I'm like, if you like help other moms homeschool, or you help with like art, or please help me, like that kind
Yeah.
of thing. Like you can coach other moms, if there's like a skill that, if people are asking you questions, for me, it was like resumes. Everyone was asking me for resumes. And so that's kind of how I turned into like a career coach and helping people with their resumes. But so those are the kind of the two main ones, but I love them both. I mean, I think you can have both in a business. You can be, have that coaching or that service that you provide, but then you can also have like something that people can just download and watch while you're with your babies. They can kind of go through it and take it themselves and get results. And those are the best wins, when you're like with your family, but someone's watching your videos and like getting results and you're not even there.
Right.
Like that's pretty neat that you can do both, right? You have that time with your family, but then you can help other people with something that you know how to do.
Is this something that you've just always known how to do? Are you good at time management? Or is this something that your digital planner can help people get better at being a better planner with their time?
I always break everything into 90 days. So if it is something like, launching any sort of like course or any new offer, like I put it into a 90-day plan, and kind of map out, okay, what am I going to do in the first 30 days? What am I going to do in the 60-day mark? And what am I going to do in the 90 days too? And so then I can kind of like visualize. I don't have to do it all today. It's not going to get all done in a week, but it kind of gives me that like time frame to work through as well too. But I didn't know how to do any of this as well too. It's like learn as you go. This
Yeah,
is a constant like learning process as well, but I do like to simplify things for people, because it is simple. I mean, if you can Zoom like this and you press the record button, like you can create a course.
sure.
You can download it, you can share it with people. You can even transcribe it or get the audios for people, create a workbook out of it. You don't even need to do all of those things, but the goal really is to serve people. And so when you think of like big picture, yeah, there's things to learn. A lot of people get worried about the tech, like how do I accept payment, PayPal, all the things that, getting an email list, all of those things. But like the big picture is, there's people out there that need your help. There's a problem that you know how to solve that they don't. And so that's what drives me.
As we've been listening to Anna's story, I now want to ask you, what is currently driving you? In these moments where we're hearing Anna make these plans and create these next steps and her feelings towards her job, think of yourself. What are your feelings towards your current job right now? Do you think you have a good work life balance? Or are you feeling similar to the way that Anna was? Maybe you're thinking about these ideas and talents that you have that could help other people. Or maybe you're just thinking, I'd love to find something that I could do from home and spend more time with my family. If you've thought any of these things or all of these things, I highly encourage you to check out Anna's program. It's available on her website, classycareergirl.com, and who knows? Maybe by this time next year, your life is going to look totally different. Don't quote me on timelines, okay? I know everybody's on their own individual journey, but I did ask Anna her specific timeline because I know a lot of moms are curious. This seems like a fun thing to step out into your creativity, but what does that really look like? So I asked what Anna's timeline was from the moment she was ready to leave, when she decided to leave, to the time that she was fully diving headfirst into her business. So Anna's going to share some final thoughts of encouragement that she has for any moms that are ready to step into that creativity. Use it to build your own business. And then she's also going to share her own perspective on success and how that's changed since the beginning of this journey in 2012 to now. What
Yeah.
did your leaving process look like? From the mental planning to the physical follow through, how long did that take for you?
So I had a plan, kind of like I call it my like my resignation action plan of like what are the things that I need to do before I quit my day job, because we really were two income, like we needed my income. We had mortgage, we had two cars. I mean, we had college loans still we were paying at that time as well
Sure.
too. So there was just like there was no way we could just like quit my day job. So it felt completely impossible. And so for me, it was figuring out what is the income that I needed to make. And so I think that's where I always recommend starting too, is really getting clear on your budget. I know no one likes to go to the budget, but I'm
Right.
gonna tell you, you got to go to the budget. And that's what I did as well too, is like really getting clear on like first what expenses can we cut, what don't we need, figuring out what is that goal income that your business needs to make. And so that was, I had that first income of like, okay, I just need to make $5,000 in my business, and then posted that on the wall, like just go to that amount, like that is like my dollar amount, I'm going to work towards that. And that was conversations with my husband as well too, like we were very clear on like I wasn't going to quit until I could kind of show him each month, he could kind of see like my income was increasing in the business as well too. And so I did have that like long-term goal. I didn't quite know when it was going to come, but things did kind of speed up. It was interesting once I went all in. So there was a time where I was like, oh, okay, like I'm doing this on the side. I'm really busy at work, but I'm kind of doing this on the side. And when we were having a few miscarriages in there, and it was just a very like sad time. And so my business grew during that time because I could kind of like focus on something else. Like my personal life was not going well, and so I could kind of like not think about it, and I would just get on with my clients and like be, life was good. I
Sure.
could kind of just focus on what was working, podcasts and the downloads, and like things were working in the business. And so that kind of got me through a lot of those disappointing times as well too. So
Yeah.
but that's when I committed, and when I really did was I'm like, okay, I'm going all in. Motherhood's not working for me. I'm gonna like dive into the business. Maybe that'll work for me, like kind of put it to the backside. And of course, that's when you get pregnant and things
Yep.
actually all work out, when you're kind
Right.
of like, I'm done with motherhood. It's not meant to be.
Yep.
So surprise. So yeah, I remember I was pregnant on and having terrible morning sickness when I got asked to go on the news and do like three news segments like back to back. I'm like, I haven't done that again, but of course it was like right when I had like the worst morning
No,
sickness ever. So it's like everything was like working. He was in Forbes and all the things were working.
it's
And so
amazing.
that's when we had to postpone my quit date because it was going to be in December, and so we ended up postponing it so I could take the maternity leave at my company as well too. And then, but really had built up clients. I had built up courses. So I was able to sell different things. Like even during a maternity leave, that first maternity leave, I was able to kind of still build my email list. So when I got back from maternity leave, I had a list of people who wanted to talk with me or who wanted to attend a webinar that I did. And so it was that's kind of how I did my first maternity leave, is like I knew I was going to quit after that maternity leave. So even during that maternity leave, I wasn't working, but I was still like building my email list,
Yeah,
and doing a lot of like at that time I was doing ads as well too, and just kind of like building that list. So when I was ready, because obviously it's very crazy at that time, you lose your brain, all the things. But when I did feel ready, then I could send an email and just say, "Hey, I'm ready. Let's get on the phone. I can help you as well too." So that's kind of like the long. It definitely, at least a year, I would say 6 months of being like, this is like for sure happening. Like you have to convince yourself this is happening. You're going all in. Like this is your future. And so
yeah,
for me, I had just gotten to that point. I just knew that was not the right place for me. And so I just knew like that was my future. I would leave work and I would turn on the entrepreneur podcast on my drive home, and I was an entrepreneur. Like when I left work, I didn't think about it. I tried not to. I would still get client calls here
sure.
and there, but like I really tried to be like, this is my other job. Like, this is my business. I am a career coach. I help people. And then I had the day job, and that was, 9 to 5. So before work, I would do something. I'd always try and like, do something in the morning. I had a virtual assistant back then as well too, and she was in the Philippines, and so she would help. That was a huge part. She was helping me while I slept as well too. So I was
That's
like
so
able to kind of
cool.
keep the business moving too.
Do you have any words of wisdom for moms who are ready to move, but might still be struggling with the guilt of choosing themselves for the first time in a long time? I know it's easy to get swept up in motherhood. So, for those who are ready to step out into this movement, what advice do you have for them?
First, you have to find something that's exciting. I think that's the best thing for me, is because I have highs and lows too. I mean, there's times where I'm like, I'm exhausted. Like, I don't want to work on anything. I don't want to, I just want to hang out with my kids. And but then I get excited about something, or I'm working on a book proposal right now. I have an agent, and we're working on a book proposal, and I will tell you that has been like life-giving. There's like, oh, I'm doing like there's like a something exciting. There's like that project I'm doing again. It's not like an offer. I'm not going to get paid tomorrow. It's just like this long-term, maybe 2028, 2029 vision,
Sure.
that's like giving me life again. And so we all have the ups and the downs, but like find something that like lights you up, that you're passionate about, that you're excited about. Like, you get excited when people have wins. Like when my clients would get a new job, or when they would get a promotion, or just like when I hear a thank you, I'm like, I'm on the right track. I'm doing the right thing. Like this is fulfilling versus like where I was before. So I think that's the first thing. The second thing is like you only need 15 minutes. I mean, don't feel like you need a 9 to 5. Don't feel like you need hours and hours and hours. Like this can get started with just a very short amount of time. I one time had a dream of creating like a physical planner. I have the digital planner that everyone can download, and then I have a physical one as well too. But it was like I put it off for years because I didn't know how. And so in that, if I just took that 15-minute block and I emailed a printer, and like from there they told me what to do and how to do it. And like then we had the printer done, the planners printed, over the next 90 days as well too. I think it was done a lot sooner, just because of I got started, just that first email, like just the research, just that like first thing. So I think it's just like we're blocked by what seems impossible, and we're blocked by what seems hard and what we don't know how to do. Just like you were saying, like, how do you do that? And so just getting like the simplest way to get started. And for me, success changed. Like at first it was just quit the day job. That was
Sure.
like success, is just to be able, and that really still is just to be able to have the freedom and flexibility to hang out with my kids. We now have 3 daughters, 12, 7, and 4. So, and I didn't know that was going to happen. Like, as you
Yeah.
know, like we struggled just to have one, and so I had no idea what the type of business I would need to, because obviously with more maternity, two more maternity leaves after the first one, I really needed flexibility. I needed time freedom. I've changed my schedule so many times, and I have amazing clients who have been with me for years and years through all the ups and downs and changes and kids. Like, I have people who say they listen to the podcast in 2016, and like they've been following along the journey that
Right.
long. And so it's really neat. Because you can record an episode. This episode could be heard by someone years from now. You
Right.
don't know when people are going to be listening to your blog post or your podcast or your blog post. And so for me, the goal, like when you say success, the goal is really like, creating that work that is flexible, that is meaningful. So I do get like a lot of fulfillment from it. I love what I get to do. But then I also have so much time for my kids as well too. Driving, when we're
Right.
done with this, we're dinner, drive to gymnastics, watch my daughter, and then we homeschool during the year. We're on break right now. That's why I'm like, I can do podcast interviews now, but we
Right.
homeschool through the year as well too. And so just I never planned to homeschool either. So that's been like a learning curve as well too, but so enjoyable. Like
That's
I
awesome.
couldn't, yeah, I never would have imagined, where things would end up. I'm just so glad I started it and I
Right.
created that side income as well. Like even on the top of my day job, because you don't know where your life is going to take you. We did this through the pandemic as well too, and
Right.
that, all of a sudden kids were home and we're like, okay, we still got to run the business. And we were able to travel as well around Europe for a year
Oh,
while running
wow.
the business as well too. So there's just a lot of things that have been made possible because we started kind of building that side income stream.
Anna chose to take a chance on herself the day that she learned people could make money off of writing blogs. She had enough faith in the things that she had to say that she took the leap, even though she didn't know what an email list was and she didn't have a website. She did it and she just learned as she went along. And sometimes bravery happens in the moments where we're scared shitless, but we keep moving anyways. We don't let the unknown slow us down. We just keep learning and growing and moving because, let's be honest, that's kind of our only option. So if you're looking for a change in your life and you want somewhere you can work through those feelings, or if you have a business idea you think would be cool for other moms and you want to talk about it here on the show, send it over to the show's email, draftingmotherhoodpod@gmail.com. Thank you all for listening today. I hope each of you are feeling a little extra inspired by our guest's amazing journey, and a very special thanks to Anna herself for not only sharing her story, but for creating such a cool program that allows all of us that same opportunity to take a chance on ourselves and get in touch with our creativity and just to ultimately serve others. Because, like she said, guys, there's somebody out there that has a need and you know how to fill it. But don't stress, okay? We're going to figure this out together. I want you to think on it, send me your thoughts, and I'll see you next week and we'll talk about it.